Hey guys, it's Benjamin with Benjamin's Exotics, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the pumpkin lip southern toad. Alright, so in today's video, we're going to be doing something a little bit different than our typical kind of video setup, and we're going to be looking at some amphibians and specifically some North American toad species and some North American toad morphs. These are actually southern toads. I don't know exactly what we'll label this series of videos, but basically we're going to go through and look at some of the cool amphibians and specifically toads that we have here at Benjamin's Exotics and try to understand and kind of just get on the record some of the different morphs and different weird colors that I'm seeing in the wild-caught toads that I have. We are going to be hopefully breeding this upcoming spring. We have some really big plans actually in the making currently, but like I said, this video is about the pumpkin lip southern toad. So essentially, this is going to be, just for the record, so I make sure I have all of it in and said, this is a wild-caught southern toad number ST4 that I got wild caught out of the southern states, and this is a pretty interesting animal. So right off the bat, this animal is fired down right now, a lot like a crested gecko. They will fire up and down depending on the lighting, what substrate they're on, even their mood. And if we look at this animal right off the bat, you will probably notice what I'm talking about when I say pumpkin lip. The color on this animal is very dramatic in terms of the color of its lip. I probably should show you a normal southern toad first, so actually as a comparison, let's get another southern toad in the shot. So this is just another wild-caught southern toad. This is ST4. A pretty bland animal, your pretty average looking southern toad. This is also a female. Both of these are females, which is awesome. But this is more of your typical kind of southern toad look. As you can see, they basically look kind of like just a brown off, like American toad, maybe a toned down American toad species. If you look at the lip, obviously, this one has some like orange on it, but it's not nearly as dramatic, and we don't see any crazy like red coloration around its face, which you will see with the pumpkin lip. It's just basically your standard, this is what a normal southern toad would look like. Now, if we compare that and we go back to the pumpkin lip, there are some other differences, but the big thing is we actually have, as you can see, that really crazy orange on the lip. It's really weird. Now, not only does the pumpkin lip gene, whatever this is, so I don't even think it's really like a recessive or a codominant. This is probably a line bred trait, meaning that you have some toads that have some of these traits, and over generations, you breed them back to each other, and eventually you get something really dramatic like this. But the pumpkin lip doesn't just seem to affect the lip color on the toad. If you look at the sides of this animal, like right here, kind of next to its head. Again, the camera is not doing a great job, but on the bumps on the side of this toad's head, you will actually see all of these little like red-orange, the exact same color that's on the lips of this animal. The pumpkin lip kind of, I think it's adding all of this cool accent to the side of this animal that if we go back to the normal southern toad, you don't see. I mean, it's just not there. All of this orange, kind of burnt red orange color is coming in on the sides of this animal, and even on the eye, I guess you call it eyelid, of this animal. See all that amazing like burnt red orange color on the top of that? And when this animal is fired down, or actually, I mean fired up, when the animal essentially gets lighter, you even see almost like these crests becoming a more kind of orangey color as compared to a normal southern toad. It's really weird. I mean, overall, this animal just looks brighter, it's more dramatic, it has more just crazy things going on, but of course, the signature part of this morph is those beautiful burnt orange red lips. We can also take a look at the belly of this animal just to have it, you know, kind of on here. I don't really see a huge difference in the belly. I don't want this animal to freak out, but generally, like you can see, pretty standard. It is actually a blank belly, no pattern on that animal, whereas a normal southern toad, typically you're looking at the same thing. Sometimes you have some spots, like you can barely see on this one. Sometimes I'll have some pattern, but typically it's a plain patternless belly, so I'm not seeing anything on that. But overall, it's just a really interesting take on the typical southern toad design. Now, the reason I think this is polygenic and not essentially like a recessive or a codominant morph is because I have seen other versions of this come out of the wild. This is one of the nicest ones that I've ever seen, actually, like in person. I've seen other ones online that look kind of similar to this, but there's lots of variation. You see some of them that are just barely having any orange or red color on the lip, and then some of them are like this, where they're really dramatic. You have all of the orange dots on the side. They have it on the eyelids of the animal. The crest looks more dramatic, and because I've seen such a huge variation in how much this gene can be expressed, this is why I think it's probably a line-bred trait. So hopefully, if this spring we can get everything to go well, the animals will hibernate and we can initiate breeding with a male, I would love to see how the babies pop out of this. I wouldn't expect anything really dramatic. If anything, I'd probably expect the babies to be more dull than this female, unless I could get like a pumpkin lip male or something like that. So if anyone has that, you know, DM on Instagram, Benjamins_exotics. But essentially, I think if you bred this animal, if you got any babies at all that even had close to this kind of color on the lip, and of course the color on the eyelids, and then you kept breeding those animals back to back, I think this is going to turn out to be a polygenic, kind of a line-bred trait, where over generations you take this color and you get it really concentrated into one animal through line breeding, and you might be able to get an even more dramatic version of all this bright, kind of burnt orange, red kind of color. You might be able to get it really dramatic on the eyelids, maybe even, because there is this color change that's very, you know, it's slight, but there is a bit of a color change to the crest on this animal's head. So maybe you could even line breed it to get all this orange to be thrown up into the head and the crest of this animal. We really just don't know. We don't know what this gene has. We don't know exactly what it does, but certainly it isn't just the lip color on this animal. It isn't the eyelid, or the eyelid on the animal. It certainly is influencing the color on the sides. And again, I mean, I don't see any of that other color in this southern toad. And I've had many different southern toads. All of them looked, you know, pretty normal. This one, just something about it is really dramatic, and I'm really excited to see what kind of babies this animal produces in the future. So hopefully you guys did enjoy, and most importantly benefit from today's video. If you want to see more of the cool amphibians, and more specifically toads, that we work with and breed here at Benjamins Exotics, be sure to follow us on Instagram at Benjamins_exotics. Link will be in the description below. And that's going to be just about it for today's video. If you liked the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.